Am I the asshole for ruining my husband's hiking trip? My F27 husband, M28, and his 4 friends, all male and between the ages of 27–32, have a yearly hiking trip they take for 2 weeks. They have done it for years, and it's fun for me because I really enjoy being alone, and it's fun for my husband because he gets to hang out with his friends. However, within the past couple of years the camping trip has always ended in a fight, argument that kinda ruined the whole thing, but they were hopeful for this year. I will preface this with saying I do not like these friends. These friends are ones he's had since elementary school, and they just have formed a lifelong bond even if they don't like each other anymore. A month before our wedding 3 of them decided to take a random trip to Cabo without checking the dates, and the 4th one was having a baby. Obviously we didn't plan him in the wedding party because of that. But my husband only had 1 groomsman and no support on his wedding day. They do that kinda crap all the time where my husband is always kinda left in the dust. They also really don't like me because I helped my husband get sober when we started dating, and they don't like that I took away their real friend. So, on these trips, I always just ask that my husband call, text me when they're winding down at the day so I know he's alive and well. It doesn't have to be long, it could just be a quick text, but he always calls because, well, I'm his wife and he likes me. These calls never ever last more than 10 minutes, ever. I usually make him hang up to go have fun. His friends apparently hate that he calls me or even texts me on this trip at the end of the night. This came to a point where they hid his phone from him for 2 days just so he wouldn't call me. I thought he was dead and messaged their respective partners, whom I'm actually pretty decent friends with, about if they had heard from them. One girlfriend called and screamed at boyfriend to give him his phone back. When they finally did, my husband called me in near tears saying that the trip so far had just been a nightmare and he just wanted to come home. He told me they used the trip as an intervention to convince him to divorce me because I am too needy and demand too much from him. Both of those things are severely untrue. I'm not perfect, but I'm certainly not those things. Anyways, this set me off and I messaged their partners about this. I was really upset and wanted to understand what made them do that. Well, apparently I started a whole storm of them all calling their BFs and going off on them for me. I didn't ask them to do it and I felt bad because I just needed to vent. This made the trip even worse for my husband because they just kept calling me names. Since being home, my husband is not mad at me at all and understands why I did what I did. He knows they're in the wrong. But now I know I've ruined a relationship he's had for years because I just didn't keep it to myself, and I also ruined a 2-week trip for him. Am I the asshole? Edit. For clarification purposes I want to emphasize that I'm not asking if I'm the asshole for wanting a text, short phone call to make sure he's alive. I feel 100% justified in that and am not asking for a judgment call there. I'm asking if I was the asshole for contacting their GFs. OP's husband. I would like to let my wife know I have not perished. The group. Toxic. Whipped. Trip ruined. Life ruined. Leave her. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, and you didn't ruin the trip. Once your husband finally got his phone back, he already wanted to go home. That's on his so-called friends, not you. To be honest, even if you were extra needy and demanding, you still wouldn't be the asshole. It is not their place to judge your marriage, and to push him to divorce you is not something they have the authority to do. Your husband just has crap friends. Not the asshole. Wow. It's perfectly normal to want your husband to check in with you once a day while he's on a trip. I don't think you have anything to worry about though, as I highly doubt your husband will remain friends with these children after this. Not the asshole. It's about time he let go of his shitty friends. I'm glad he can see what they're truly like and is sticking with Op, who seems to be the only person in this situation who has his back and gives a shit about his happiness. Not the asshole. Those are some terrible friends. Luckily it sounds like your husband and the Sos also agree that you're not the asshole. No one needs that many toxic people in their life. Not the asshole. There is nothing wrong with letting your partner know you are safe. My DH often text me, not dead in a ditch, just to let me know he's okay. Smile. Not the asshole. It's hard to finally rip off the bandage and just leave the group, but it's totally necessary here. The fact that he was crying and wanted to come home speaks volumes. I'm angry that they don't like him sober. I know what it's like to lose friends who don't like your improved self. Maybe he can join a local meetup group that hikes and make some new friends that way. He sounds like a man who has outgrown those idiots and has a better future ahead. Wow. Your husband is a good guy for keeping on contact. That is respectful behavior to expect from your husband. Your husband obviously loves you and those people are terrible, good riddance, glad they are out of your life. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for asking someone to leave my house after they pushed my cat? I'm pretty sure I'm not the asshole, but my brother thinks I am. I live with my partner and her senior cat Daisy. She used to be her grandma's cat, but she passed away and my girlfriend took her in. She was very shy, but she's got used to her new lifestyle and now has the habit of sitting on our visits' laps as soon as they sit on the couch. Yesterday my brother had to stop by to pick up some stuff and brought his friend with him. Daisy already knows my brother, so she chose to sit on the new guy as he was more novel to her. It turns out that guy didn't like cats. He looked somewhere between slightly scared and disgusted. He slightly pushed her away when she was smelling him and she left. He explained me he didn't like cats and I said okay, I understand. Daisy proceeded to jump on his lap without warning, and the guy violently pushed her away. She fell and hid behind the couch. I was like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? He repeated he doesn't like cats and asked me to take her away from him. I told him, this is the cat's house and she'll go wherever she wants to. If you don't want her to sit on you, stand up and she'll leave, but you're not gonna push my cat like that. My brother backed him up but said he could leave if he's not comfortable with the cat. Now if he hadn't pushed her I'd have just removed her from the room. But I wasn't willing to do that after the way he behaves. My brother thinks I wasn't understanding enough of his dislike for cats. I think he behaved like a damn toddler. We're all in our 20s 30s here. Am I the asshole? This is the first time someone's rejected Daisy. I didn't thought about her trying to jump on his lap again. I thought she'd leave him alone, that's why I didn't remove her ASAP. Update. Thanks everyone for the feedback, from both sides. I apologized to my brother for my yelling and he apologized for his friend. I asked him not to bring this guy over again as apparently he believes it's the cat's fault. Daisy is alright too. I read someone commenting she could have get hurt. Just to clarify, I didn't invite this guy. My brother brought him without warning. I thought he was coming alone. They were supposed to sit 5 minutes in the couch while I got his stuff and leave, like he always does. I'd no idea Daisy would insist on a second attempt, so the idea of removing her just for 5 minutes simply didn't come to mind. However, out of respect for my GF's grandmother, rest in peace, and her proud for how well she trained her cat, I will have to disagree with comments criticizing Daisy's training. She's a 13-year-old chubby cat who sleeps and sits next to us for most of her day. Never's given a bite, hissed, scratched anything, or jumped tables, etc. And no, we don't see the need to bother her with further training during her senior years, as people who come over is always happy to have her on their laps, except for this time. Next time we've someone new at home, I'll warn them of her greeting habits. If they don't like it, I'll suggest the idea of removing her. Mostly to avoid any harm to the cat. She's not that agile and a lap is too close to the floor for her to have time to turn, so she fell on her body, not her feet. Not the asshole. I'm not a big fan of kids all the time, but I'm not violent with them. Same principle here. Animals have feelings, both physical and emotional. He should not be abusive to your cat in the cat's house. He could have asked you to move the cat, which you already said you would have done. The cat wasn't attacking him, he wasn't protecting himself or in danger. Not the asshole. This adult human should be in more control of their emotions and fears, and not be potentially hurting animals. That, or he should recognize that he can't control himself around cats, and remove himself from interactions involving them. Not the asshole. He could have asked you to remove the cat. There's no need to push her regardless of age, but especially as a senior. Not the asshole at all. Dude was a prick. Not the asshole. You didn't actually tell him to leave, he decided to. He could have stood up or told you, "Hey, she jumped on me again, can you just move her into another room?" He didn't need to violently push her off him in a way that caused a senior cat to fall. He's a friend of your brother's, she's your partner's, and now your elderly kitty. She comes first. To be blessed to have a cat choose to sit on you as a way of getting to know you. You are the asshole. Let's read this story back. First, the cat was sniffing him and he gently pushed it away. This should have been the first sign to you to make sure they didn't interact. Next, he told you straight up he didn't like cats. Still you did nothing. Finally, the cat jumps up onto his lap and he pushed it away, 'cause I highly doubt it was as violent as you're making it out to be. Guy gave you multiple chances to remove the cat and you refused, and then blame him for his reaction. If this was a dog, everyone would be saying you should have trained your dog better. You are the asshole. He shooed the cat gently at first and let you know he has a problem with cats. You should not have let your cat stay in the room if you know she will try to jump in a stranger's lap. If this were a dog and a guest said, "I'm afraid of dogs," and you knew your dog will jump on people, no one would question that you were a jerk for not taking your dog out of the room and allowing it to jump on that person. It's not different because it's a cat. You said yourself that he looked scared of the cat. Why would you let her stay in the room and create this situation where she jumps on him and reacts instinctively out of fear and surprise? You are the asshole because you put your cat in danger of this happening by letting her jump on someone who already told you have a problem with cats. I love cats. I think they're freaking awesome. But you are wrong here. It's true that it's the cat's house, but your guest isn't the cat's property. Seriously. It's your house, too. Do you have the right to hop onto the lap of anyone who comes in your house? Of course not. That's insane. It's also insane to think your cat has the right to climb onto your guests. You are the asshole. YTA, he told you he didn't like cats, he pushed her away gently once and you still let the cat jump on him. If it were a dog, people would be telling you to train your animal. Why cats always get a pass on acting like assholes. Am I the asshole for buying my niece a band gift? I'm 30F and my niece, Lily, just turned 5 last weekend. My sister and her husband, 32F and 33M, invited me to Lily's birthday party a few weeks ago, and of course I accepted. Lily is not into stereotypical girl things at all. Barbies, dollhouses, princesses, the color pink, she hates all of it. Right now, what Lily loves more than anything is dinosaurs. My sister hates that Lily likes boy things, and I've fought with her about it on multiple occasions. Who says girls can't like dinosaurs? Dinosaurs are rad. Anyway, the week before Lily's birthday party, my sister texts me a list of band gifts. And of course, on the list was dinosaurs. I knew that if every guest got the same list I did, Lily was going to have a miserable birthday filled with presents that she was going to hate. I couldn't bear the thought of seeing her so upset on her own birthday, so when I went gift shopping I completely ignored the list and bought her a pretty cool dinosaur toy set. Birthday comes along. Lily is having fun with all her little friends. The adults are out back enjoying some drinks, all is good. Cake comes and goes. A very pink cake with flowers that Lily grimaced at when she saw it. I thought her reaction was funny. My sister did not. And then it's present time. I will say, for a 5-year-old, Lily is very good at hiding her disappointment. She opened up toys like Barbies, tiaras, and magic wands, and was extremely gracious about it. Then she got to my gift and just couldn't hide her excitement. She ran up and hugged me and said she loved it. Now some of the parents of the kids that were invited were confused. I thought that was banned, and my sister was fuming at what I'd done. After presents, the kids went off to go play with them, and I saw Lily opening up her dinosaur set from me. A dad of one of her friends came up to me and asked me why I had gotten that for Lily if it was on the banned list. So I explained that Lily doesn't really like stereotypical girl toys, but my sister refuses to let her play with what she actually likes. The dad went red in the face. I think he and his wife got her a princess something, but I assured him that it wasn't his fault, he couldn't have known. Well, word of my conversation spread and now my sister is pissed at me for making her out to be a terrible mother. I don't think she's a terrible mother. I mean, Lily is super polite and gracious for a 5-year-old. I just don't understand why she can't let her daughter play with things she actually enjoys. But now all the parents at Lily's party think she's controlling and weirdly fixated on this, and my sister claims I ruined her credibility with the other parents. I never meant for it to escalate the way it did. It was just an explanation to a confused parent. So am I the asshole? ETA. People are asking what was on the banned list. Trucks, cars, Hot Wheels, a former interest of hers, dinosaurs, superheroes, Spider-Man, etc. Robots, anything that involved assembly. So no Lego, no construction toys, etc. Rockets, space stuff, anything science related really. Not the asshole. When your sister sent out a list of banned gifts, she ruined her credibility with the other parents. You just confirmed she was controlling and weirdly fixated on forcing her daughter into a mold that just doesn't fit. Not the asshole. Someone in her family needs to appreciate Lily for who she is, and allow her to express herself. You are quickly setting yourself up to be someone in life she can go to and trust, and it's clear she's going to need that moving forward. You didn't get her something inappropriate. Just something her mother didn't want her to have so her mother could force her ideals on her. I grew up very similarly, though my parents were open, The rest of my family tried to force me to be very feminine. Good for you for doing the right thing by Lily. I literally don't even have to read all of this. The first 2 paragraphs are enough for me to judge. Not the asshole. I hate parents like your sister. These the kinds of parents I can't stand. Literally. Not the asshole. Your sister is gonna get a wake-up call when her daughter wants nothing to do with her later because she was never allowed to enjoy what she wanted. I've got a 4-year-old niece who loves dinosaurs too. They absolutely are rad. Keep being the super awesome aunt that you are. Not the asshole. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Want to ban things your child likes and other parents find out and you lose credibility, that's on her. Not the asshole. Your sister is controlling and fixated, which is why she appears that way. The kid may be polite and gracious, but imagine a few years down the road trying to assert her own preferences, which will probably clash with her parents' expectations. This is a recipe for acting out or depression. Continue to be the cool aunt. Your niece is going to need all the help she can get. Not the asshole. These are birthday presents. They're supposed to be things the kids will enjoy, not things that parents think the kids should enjoy based on their concept of mid-20th century style gender normativity. Not the asshole. You prioritized what you knew your niece would actually enjoy over your sister's stereotypical view on what she should enjoy. Thank you for being a good auntie. Am I the asshole for threatening my neighbor? Info first, I'm 22F in NSW, Australia. I bought my land in March. My neighbor is 56F.B. and owns the house to my right, which is on a corner. With how the blocks are, my land reaches the road on both sides of her from the top to bottom. Diagonal block. Now onto the issue. For the first week after I bought my block, everything was okay. I introduced myself to B. Gave her my number just in case B needed to contact me, and went on my way. It was the start of the second week when everything went south. I decided on a Saturday afternoon to mow my block. So in my dad's truck I hooked up a trailer, put my mower and whipper snipper on and drove to my block. I started mowing around 1 p.m. and around 2:30 the police showed up because they received a noise complaint. I don't know who actually made the complaint, but they showed up as I was mowing, apologized for disturbing me, and left. 2 weeks later I received a letter from our council stating that I was illegally using someone's, B's, property as a driveway and I was to discontinue use and remove the concrete curb. I spent 3 weeks arguing with the council using paperwork they gave me when I brought my land as evidence that I own the 3 meters of land that is my driveway and that I was not responsible for removing the concrete curb as the council put in the curb years ago. After I had my solicitor send a professional foo letter to them, they closed the case. For the next 3 months the police continued to receive noise complaints and now trespassing complaints every time I was on my land. Then 3 weeks ago I got told by a few people that B is notorious for making complaints about everyone, and this was when I admittedly got aggressive from the stress of being a new landowner. Having a lot of bills to pay as well as dealing with a mortgage and general COVID stress, I was not in a good mood when I next saw her. Yesterday, I went to my block because there is an old basketball hoop on it and I was looking to see if there was an easy way to take it down without having to saw the pole down and take photos to show a friend that was going to help me put retaining walls in so I can eventually build a kid home. I parked my car on my land, closed my gate, and halfway through taking the photos B comes out with a cane screaming at me to get off her property and to stop taking photos of her. I was in the middle of my land taking photos towards the end of my property. I exploded and shouted, "Shut your f***ing mouth, you see, I'm on my property. Also, if you make one more complaint to the police or council about me, I'll file a f***ing harassment report against you f***ing b*h." Yes, I realize reading this back I was over the top, however the amount of complaints she has made is ridiculous and the fact that she has a track record of this angered me to no end. I told my family what happened and my mum and dad think AITA for reacting that way, but my brother said she had it coming. So am I the asshole for threatening my neighbor? You need to make this bad neighbor aware that you know just where your property lines are. Get that solicitor of yours to send her a letter reminding her of where those lines are and telling her to stay off of your property. You should file a formal complaint against her, police and council, in the meantime, just to have a paper trail that you tried to de-escalate the situation. I'm not familiar with Australia land surveying, but is it possible to have a surveyor come out and mark your land with flags or tape or whatever they use to show property lines? If that is the case, leave the markings up until you can get your fence built, and next time she walks over your property line, bring out your phone and calmly tell her you're asking her to leave your property that is clearly marked. If she won't leave, Inform her you're calling the police and that you won't stand for being harassed, then follow through. Good luck. Not the asshole. She is harassing you, and you don't deserve it. Not the asshole. In addition to cameras for your land, think about getting front and rear facing dashcams in case she gets stupid ideas. There are ones that also film when the car is parked. Not the asshole. Sounds like you have a shitty neighbor who needed to be shown you weren't a pushover. Not the asshole. You didn't threaten the woman, you warned her. You made it clear that you were done with her nonsense and that, if she carries on, you will seek legal remedies. Your language may have been a bit colorful but, under the circumstances, understandable. Lol. I'm surprised and impressed that you waited that long. Not the asshole. I would compile all your evidence and complete a report with the police. She won't stop.